Football isn't just a game of speed, strength, and skill. It's a game of mindset. The greatest legends aren't just born with talent. You ever wonder what separates the greats from everyone else? Sure, talent matters, but every player reaches a point where talent alone isn't enough. What happens next comes down to one thing: mindset. Today I'm breaking down two stories that prove it: Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll learn how you can train your mind to elevate your game and be the next one up after Derrick and Tyreek. Not only will you be the next one up, but you'll dominate everything in front of you. Let's talk about Derrick Henry. Today is considered one of the best running backs of all time, but it wasn't always smooth sailing for him. In his early days when he was with the Tennessee Titans, he had won a Heisman in college, and his first 2 years were just subpar. None of them were anything special. In one game, he had played against the Chargers, and he was running the ball, and Eddie George, he had noticed something. And Eddie George is a former Titans running back that Derrick Henry had a good relationship with. So they got on the phone together, and Eddie George told him straight up, "You're running soft.
You're running soft. You gotta play better."
He noticed that he's not imposing his will like he should. He's too big. He said to Derrick, "It comes down to opposing your will on defenders. You're too big not to use it as your strength." Derrick Henry is 6'4", a 6'4" running back that is swole. And Eddie George noticed that he wasn't using that to his advantage. He told Derrick that his legs appeared to go dead after contact when he needed to keep them moving, that he would turn contact down, and that he was trying to be flashy and be something he's not.
You gotta use your size to your advantage and let the game come to you. Be patient.
Eddie was just telling him, you need to get your mind right. You need to run as if your career depends on it, because he's 2 years in. And if he wants that second contract, best believe his career depends on it. That talk with Eddie flipped a switch in Derrick's mind. From then on, it was his mental approach that made him unstoppable. He transformed him to a relentless force on that field, and eventually becoming the NFL's leading rusher. And soon after Eddie George told Derrick Henry that is when Derrick Henry played the Jaguars. And we all know what that game looked like.
He might go 99 yards.
What if Henry hadn't strengthened his mind? He'd just be another running back. But with his right mental approach, he's on track to be an NFL Hall of Famer. Notice how his problems weren't physical problems. He had the strength, he had the size. He had already won a Heisman, but it was the way he was looking at the game. He was trying to be flashy. He was trying to be something he's not. But the change happened when he embraced who he was, when he embraced what type of player he is, what type of man he is. And that's when he became a future Hall of Famer. Now let's talk about Tyreek Hill. He puts the most fear when NFL teams are game planning against him. Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of his speed. But Tyreek's journey wasn't a straight shot to the top. In fact, at one point, his career nearly ended before it even began. In 2014 at Oklahoma State, Tyreek's future was nearly destroyed. He was involved in a highly publicized domestic violence incident that led to his dismissal from the team and legal consequences.
I don't blame nobody but myself. It's my fault. It's my mistake. Can't nobody live my life with me, so.
At that moment, his NFL dreams seemed out of reach. Let's be real. Many of the people in that situation wouldn't have made it out. Their career would have been over. Their future shattered. And honestly, Tyreek, he had hit rock bottom. But this is where mindset and belief in yourself comes in. You see, failure doesn't have to be final. Quick story about Tyreek Hill. He was working at a wood plant after all of this happened at Oklahoma State, back in home in South Georgia. While he was working on that wood plant with his grandfather, they got a call from a school in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's the president, it's the coach, it's the athletic director. All of them are telling him that they want him to play for their school. So he's hyped up. He gets another opportunity to play. He drives 8 hours from South Georgia. And once he got up there, he got a call from the coach saying that he can't accept him because of his incident at Oklahoma State. He had drove 8 hours and they told him no after they had just hyped him up. So he called his mom. He was like, "Mom, I'm about to hang it up. I think I'm done with football." And his mom was like, "Okay, whatever, just come home." And she said, "God got you. God got you." So as he's driving home, he gets another call from West Alabama, and they're saying the exact same thing that the school in Chattanooga, Tennessee was saying. And he's like, nah, coach, I'm done. I don't want to play football. But then they said, Tyreek, we got your transcript. And it was the head coach, the athletic director, and the president all on the phone. They were saying they want him. And then they sent him a picture of a transcript after Tyreek asked for it, so he wasn't going to get played again. And they actually had it. So as he was driving home after getting his heart broken, he got another opportunity and drove right to that school in West Alabama. And when he went there, the game was the next day. He played in that game the next day. He returned 2 punts for touchdowns in that game. Crazy. But then when he went on to get drafted, he went in the 5th round. But he understood that he has passion for the game, that he has gone through adversity, and his mindset going into win his wide receiver spots and win a roster spot after being drafted in the 5th round was, once he got the opportunity, he better not look back. And there are no friends. You have to make the team. There are no friends in the NFL, just associates. And fast forward today, Tyreek Hill is an 8-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, the fastest player on any field, and makes $30 million a year. His comeback story is one of mental resilience and determination, showing that even when life knocks you down, it's your mindset. It's your self-belief, it's the hope, it's the faith you have in you that picks you back up. Tyreek had 2 choices: to let his incident define him or use it as fuel to become better. Not just as an athlete, but as a person. He owned his mistakes and focused on doing the inner work. He owned his mistakes and still kept a strong mind. He didn't let his darkest moment define him. Without a strong mind, Tyreek could have been another story of wasted talent. Instead, he is one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game, because he uses adversity and pushed through it. Now you tell me this, is giving up on your dreams worth $30 million a year? Ask yourself that. So what does this mean for you? Whether you're a high school football player dreaming of growing pro or an amateur just trying to improve, understand this, talent will only get you so far. To be great, you need mental toughness, discipline, and the belief that you can be more than good, that you can be legendary, and that you are legendary. If you want to learn more about how to build that mindset, subscribe to this channel, because I'll be dropping more stories, tips, and training that'll take your game to the next level. I also have a course that teaches you not only how to build your mindset, but how to run faster, how to eat right, how to watch the right game film, and so much more. If you're interested on that, go ahead, follow me on Instagram, and we can talk about it over there. But remember, the mind leads the body. You can do all the field work you want, but if you don't believe in yourself, there's no point. Elevate your mind, you'll elevate your game.